Good afternoon. This is Muriel Kramer, the chair of the Hopkinton Select Board, for actions taken for our meeting September 19th. We had an executive session for the purposes of discussing negotiations with the fire union, for the purposes of considering the purchase, lease, sale, or value of real estate in relation to properties in the vicinity of Town Hall and South Street, and parcels owned by Umina off of Chestnut Street. And we also considered executive session minutes from August 1st and September 5th. So I'm very pleased to be able to announce that there is a signed memorandum of agreement with the fire union for the period of time July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2025. So that's very excellent news. We then had a public forum. One resident shared some feedback and constructive criticism about the conversation about the police promotions. And one member shared about the processes we have used to communicate with the marathon committee and the volunteers there as we work with other agencies with issues about the marathon. So need to do better there as well. We considered the minutes of September 5th, and we also accepted a gift of $1,000 from Karen Bonazzoli in honor of her father, Alfred, who had lived at 7 Cole Drive. That gift was will be used to benefit the fire department. We accepted the resignation of Kevin Baxter from the Board of Appeals with appreciation for his work with that board. And we also endorsed the effort in the upcoming event that the Hopkinton Youth and Family Services is holding. It's called the Garden of Hope, and it will be a dedicated space on the Common from September 24th through October 31st on the Town Common, where residents may come, recognize and commemorate persons in recovery, struggling with recovery, or in memory of those we have lost to substance use disorder. So on Sunday, the 24th, there will be an event in the afternoon from 1 to 4 on the Common. Sunday, the 24th, there will be a little service gathering to kick off the Garden of Hope. Substance use disorder affects so many of us, and it is so important to raise awareness, to work to reduce stigma, and to remind people that substance use disorder is, while it's a chronic and remitting disease state, it is very treatable and there is hope. So we really appreciate the Youth and Family Services for making this possible and hope to see you on Sunday. We discussed and approved the means tested senior citizen property tax exemption for FY 2024 at the same rate that we had done it for FY 2023, which is at the maximum. So I appreciate everybody's hard work and support of that. We had a joint meeting with the school committee and the appropriations committee to consider the budget calendar and hear from the school a little bit about their budget focus and their challenges upcoming as they begin the budget process. And so we all agreed to the budget calendar. We embedded a couple more explicit, the meetings were on the calendar, but embedded a couple more explicit opportunities for the board, the select board, the school committee, and the appropriations committee to meet together once the budgets are more mature, and then as we are transitioning to the point in the calendar where we're starting to allocate funding sources to that, so that in the hopes that we stay in sort of better sync and are communicating throughout the process and maintain a sense of collaboration throughout this budget process. The select board will consider and deliver the budget message at their October 3rd meeting, we did hear from the Appropriations Committee and a couple people what, some of what we want to make sure contributes to that. One of the things is we want to understand what our constraints are to avoid a place of being in a position to be seeking an override vote. But more to come on that. The budget message and the information that we will have to support the initial budget message will be discussed October 3rd. We enthusiastically supported the appointment of Ray Stevenson, our current library substitute, as a senior library assistant, and Daniel Boudreau as the adult services librarian. We heard an update from the police chief, the school resource officer. He gave an overview of the school resource officer program, which we will go into more detail with at our October 17th meeting with the school department and youth and family services, helping build out that report so that the community has an opportunity to fully understand the school resource officer program, how it is supervised and overseen, and how the combined departments potentially hope that that program might grow in the future. We heard an update from the chief about school opening and the ways that the police department was very present in making sure that this very busy time took off without a hitch. And we also discussed a little bit about our work to be more proactive as a select board in the promotional process before we actually take our vote on promotions. We have an update from the fire chief hiring process. We met the screening committee, and reviewed the candidates. We hired a professional consultant. They did a search. We met initially and selected our candidates for the initial review process. That initial review has been scheduled for October 2nd. We are moving forward, and we hope to have a slate of final candidates to present for the select board's consideration in the mid-October timeframe. So good news on that front. The town manager reported on the Main Street Corridor project. As we all probably know right now, the finish line has moved a little bit because of some factors, and that many are unavoidable. However, we are substantially complete, will be substantially complete on track, and we thank the public for remaining patient as we work to really tie up and finish that entire project to completion once transformers and other equipment is actually available, but it will be substantially complete on time. We had an update of the PFAS treatment system that has pushed out also supply chain issues. We look for that filtration system to be in place and operational at the start of the year 2025. So it'll be, it's about a year out for that project to come fully into completion, but we are working diligently to make that happen. We are also on track with Southborough to work on the connectivity, the long-term solution to have Hopkinton join to the Water Resources Authority in the hopefully near future. We also signed the agreement between the town of Hopkinton and the Bay Path Humane Society, the payment in lieu of taxes agreement. We heard from board members on their liaisons, and we set some future board agenda items. We will be talking next time on October 3rd, the policy on redaction of public survey comments. We'll also be talking on October 3rd some ideas for contributing to the strategic planning framework. On October 17th, I mentioned earlier, we're going to be hearing from Youth and Family Services, the police department, and the school department with a more complete overview of the SRO program in the schools. And we will also be looking at a framework for the clean water PFAS remediation work that one member has put forward. We'll look at that on the 17th. And we're hoping to entertain some input from the Cemetery Commission on potential rate changes at the same time. So looking forward to some of those topics in October. We also announced and reminded folks that Family Day is this Saturday, the 23rd. They are looking for volunteers for the dunk tank, so I enthusiastically support folks reaching out and offering to do that. The Garden of Hope programming will start Sunday the 24th from 1 to 4 on the Common. There is also the first annual Hopkinton Ashland Porch Fest that will be upcoming on September 30th. We have a program that the library is sponsoring October 5th on the Common from 5 to 7 p.m. That is Let Freedom Read program. So bring a lawn chair, bring a book that you're reading, and join us in solidarity for a statement affirming our right to free access to all that we want to read and choose to read for ourselves. And then the Sustainable Green Committee is holding a climate action forum on October 11th at the Senior Center from 6 to 9 p.m. We hope a lot of people will stop by and see that. Art on the Trail kicks off on October 12th. The opening is at 6 p.m. on October 12th. So that is it for announcements. A lot going on in late September and early October in Hopkinton. And we hope you will stay tuned and participate in all those events. Thanks so much.